How do you think it feels for Joe Cronin yesterday in his building when the "Let's Go Heat" chants hit? You think that sweeps over him, and he just feels sadness just knowing that a game where it cost $1 to get in the building last night, and you think about the first quarter they had, where like, oh wow, they got off to a great start. I never feared that they were going to lose that game yesterday. I didn't care that they scored 15 points in the first quarter. I'm like, it's the Blazers. They'll blow it. They'll blow it. And then once the fourth quarter hits and those "Let's Go Heat" chants just start raining down, do you think like he goes and hides? Does he go to his office? Do you think like he just opens up a can of club soda and lets it tickle his whiskers? What do you think? What do you think goes down, Leroy, for Joe Cronin yesterday as he's watching the Heat run away in the fourth quarter?
First of all, that last comment is because of dumbass Marcos, who thought he was purchasing Seagram's ginger ale.
Oh no! I took this from promotions allegedly.
Oh, and well, that's why it was there. Because club soda only goes with liquor.
Yep.
I've never seen a person drink a club soda that like wasn't 80.
Yeah, like let's just like an old person has like a little indigestion, like, but normally they even go ginger ale.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you lifted it up, and I saw the blue can, I'm like, oh, that's club soda. Ginger ale's a green can.
Oh, so good.
No, it's not.
It's so blank.
Yes.
That's how I love it.
It's just like, and club soda has, I don't know if it's tonic or club soda, but one of them has like a bitter taste.
Oh, that's tonic for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
a little vodka tonic.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is essentially though the drink of Joe Cronin, a flavorless inconvenience.
Yeah.
That's all he deserves after everything.
Joe Cronin is NBA club soda. That's what he is. Yeah. And he's just waiting to flatten out, and then he'll get fired because he's obviously going to get fired.
Oh yeah.
And yesterday he had to watch as just everybody on his team outside of Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant, who he gave $130 million to in the offseason. For what reason, I don't know.
Wow.
Like, they're a rebuilding team, and Jeremy Grant's a nice player, and he's just probably thinking to himself, yeah, we could use him right next to Scoot, who wasn't there last night.
That's what's amazing. It's not the fact that they decided to go on a youth movement and rebuild. It's that they still gave money to guys we've never heard of.
It makes no sense.
No sense.
It's like, wait, what? Anyway, so
Jeremy
yesterday,
Grant, I found one of those. The Heat have 3 of those that they're giving $10 million each.
He didn't Jeremy Grant am I thinking like, was Jeremy Grant the guy who was in Denver and like was not happy? He goes, Denver, not for me, and he went to the Pistons and just put up monster numbers.
Yeah.
He goes, this Jokic, not for me. Not no thanks.
But here's the deal. You do realize that as a person who runs a basketball club, that you got to be able to weed through the looter and the riot aspects of that sport. Because I got to tell you, if Jeremy Grant was scoring 25 for the Pistons, to me, that's like 10-12 on a good team. And
well, I'll tell you what. Speaking of looter and a riot, I'll tell you who got right last night.
Oh,
my boy, Scary Terry.
Yeah.
Scary Terry in the fourth quarter.
I thought you were talking about.
We'll get to your favorite friend. We'll get to him in a second. But Scary Terry with the pullback, with the step back threes, and really just Jimmy Butler was so dominant in that third quarter. There was at one point he stole it from 3 straight Blazers. Just different ones. Yeah, just different ones. Just block. He was a menace yesterday. And the Heat 3-0 on the road trip, Leroy, with the finals rematch coming up tomorrow.
Things change.
Expectations change, baby.
I'm being greedy now.
You got to get greedy and
when it started, we were like, if we can get out of this 2-2, back-to-back long road trip, on the West Coast, we can deal with it, right?
Why do I picture today in the off day in Denver? Why do I picture Nikola Jovic and Jimmy Butler skiing?
What?
Yeah, I just picture like we're gonna see at one point on Instagram today, Jimmy and Jovic with the giant goggles on.
I promise you this: Jimmy Butler has never been on skis.
Can you do anything else? Can he snow tube?
There is one thing to do in Denver.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Get to our headlines here, brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
Trucks.
So the Heat win last night, 106-96. Jimmy buckets, 24 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks.
Touch them all.
Jeez. Terry Rozier had 19 points, really came alive in the second half for Miami. Meanwhile, you had your Florida Panthers last night defeat the Buffalo Sabres 3-2. Brandon Montour.
I saw a little stat.
Oh, all right. I like stats.
Bobrovsky, 9 straight starts, keeping opponents to 2 goals or less.
I think it's even if you add Stolars, I think it's like even further back.
The team.
That's crazy.
Yes, listen, this is a Panthers team that we have never seen. Right? We've seen teams that score. We've seen teams that do a lot, but this is probably the most complete hockey team that we've seen down here as far as physicality.
Oh, they're a pain
defense, scoring, goaltending. Yeah, I can't even explain it. I don't know enough about hockey, but I know enough to go, damn, them boys good.
Did you see Nick Cousins, who was voted by the NHL players as having the most punchable face in the league?
Really?
Last night, he goes down, but like very clearly was playing possum in a way I have never seen because he lays down in the fetal position, but it must like right as soon as the action starts up against the behind the net, he pops up and just starts going after everybody. Completely healed.
Oh, soccer injury?
Dude, it was some Olay stuff.
Was it like remember Jimmy?
Yes. I was like, wait a minute. Wasn't he hurt? Gets up there, right into the action.
We do,
and then the Buffalo Sabres.
We do that in football when it's a 2-minute offense and the defense needs a break. You see the guy, hammy.
It felt like he was almost going for something to get a call, and then he realized action was there and he could fight, so he had to get into the mix of the action. He goes, "Oh no, I don't want to miss a scrap." Gets up, and then oh my god, the Buffalo Sabres coach, who kind of looks like Paul Maurice's like younger, angrier little brother. He was so mad because the Sabres got duped into a 5-on-3, which has just got to be the most helpless feeling in sports. A 5-on-3. And of course, the Panthers go up with another goal. And Cats are rolling, baby.
They're
Cats are rolling.
And they're fun to watch, too. I mean, at every level, whether it's on the offensive end, whether it's watching Bobrovsky and all these ridiculous saves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trey says Nick Cousins has been sucker punched twice in the last 3 games. Yeah, because people hate him. They hate him.
He wears it as a badge of honor.
He loves it. Yeah, he's just here to be an antagonist. And the entire team really is. All of them. There was one where
he is cousins with Kachuk, so he's got Kachuk in his blood.
Kachuk just gave a chicken wing for no reason yesterday.
A chicken wing.
He put a shot on goal, didn't go in. He goes, bam. Just it's so annoying, but I love it. He's on our team.
Yeah. What did you see Strus?
Dude.
God.
Oh my God.
God.
Max Strus, for those who did not see yesterday in Cleveland, hit a beyond half court heave. Nothing but net. Cavs win over the Mavericks yesterday.
He outscored the other team 15-9 in the last 3 minutes of the game.
Incredible. Yeah, he's the only one who's been able to who was able to shake the Heat curse. He was awesome yesterday.
Is he the only one over the year, like recent years?
Of recent years.
Yeah.
Recent years.
Because keep in mind, before they were trading stars for stars. So This is one of the developed guys that they just.
I'm talking about the gems.
Right.
The gems. But no, Strus, that was a crazy shot yesterday. Crazy shot from Max Strus. He looked awesome. And the Cavaliers get a big win. The Miami Heat, meanwhile, after yesterday, have moved up to 5th in the Eastern Conference. And they are breathing down the necks of the New York Knicks, who are just a game up on them in the loss column. So, it's looking good right now for your Miami Heat. It is not looking good.
Realistically, they can get to 3.
I think 3 is like the most likely.
Best case scenario.
Yeah, especially with you can't really trust the Bucks yet, even though I think they won by 40 last night over the Hornets. So they've righted the ship.
The only ones that struggle against the Hornets? And Orlando and like those teams.
The Hornets had a little something going, like right after they made that trade of PJ Washington, and because I know everybody's making a big deal of Grant Williams, like, oh, Grant Williams are undefeated. They went like 4-0, but now they've come back to earth a little bit.
Yep.
They've come back to earth. So yeah, they lost last night, 123-85. But also a loser last night, the Philadelphia 76ers. Ooh. And they lost last night. And lost pretty good to the Boston Celtics, which no shame in that game. But we don't really care about the score.
No,
we care about the box score.
The box score. And as soon as the game ended, Twitter started blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
And it only blows up if one thing happens.
Yep.
3 shots. What are we doing, dude?
I told you, dude.
You're losing by 30. 3 shots doesn't even keep you on the floor.
Nope.
Old dartboard horde on the way.
He has to average 11 the rest of the way.
Right.
You put your faith in Kyle Lowry. I want you to remember that.
Should I give him an out? Like I'll give you an out. Do you want an out? I'll give you an out right now if you just call him a fat bum. I'll give you an out now. Just admit you were wrong, and you call Kyle Lowry a fat bum, and I'll take away the dartboard of doom bet. The stakes will be gone.
Oh,
you think about it. You think about it.
Let me think about it because listen. Leroy goes down with the ship, like we know, especially when it comes to you.
All right.
So, let me think about it though, because here's the thing, Marcos.
Yeah.
That chicken of the tree soup. That's all.
He's having
That's
dreams.
all I've been thinking about, dog. That's all I've been thinking about.
No, it's fair.
I mean, listen, I've done some ridiculous stuff. We had tours through our building, and I was sitting in the studio with nipple clamps.
Mm-hmm.
We got in trouble with the Heat because I had to dress up like what's his name? McBob, right? So normally I'm with it. Like I'm okay. I'll go down with the ship. But dude,
I'm looking at pictures right now, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
Let me think about it though.
You think about it
because
it.
Because here's the other thing. Me and Tobin, I would rather go down with the ship instead of admitting that maybe he was right. You see, I didn't say he was right. Maybe he was right. So
I'm not even saying. I don't even need you to say I'm right. I just need you to call him a fat bum. Because what's gonna make this tough on you is he's not even going to give you the opportunity to have a bad shooting night. He's just going to keep giving you 1 for 2s, 1 for 3s.
Right. That's the thing. I could deal with 1 for 11.
But this is my problem with him. This is what it was. Oh my God, that is terrifying.
Oh, dude, what is that? They put the skin in? Oh,
delicious exotic food.
Dude, you know what? He's a fat bum. I can't.
Fat bum.
I cannot look at that bowl.
All right.
Wow.
No more Kyle Lowry watch for Leroy Horde. He's rats off a ship.
And here's the problem. It's not even There's a chance I won't hit that.
Yeah, but just the
But
risk.
dude,
Just the chance.
Back up.
Not good.
Look
dude.
at that.
That's not good.
They didn't even like skin
That's
it.
terrifying. That's terrifying.
Dude,
I don't like
look
that.
Look at that. It looks like a belt that I own.
Wow.
Oh
My God.
no.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
awful.
No.
All right, we'll take a quick break.
Oh.
Tobin and Leroy here with you, 5-6 WQM. Our guy Michael McCullough, he's going to join us coming up next hour.
Oh boy.
Oh, baby.
Oh boy.
You got the ideas lined up,
I don't really have any. I don't think I have any big ideas, that I'm thinking of that I'd like.
Can't wait.
What do you want to? Is there anything that you want to go with, Marcos?
Churros.
Other than serving more club soda. Well, we had the chef on. I don't know if that ever happened. We had the chef on. He said they were doing something with churros.
That's true.
Next time I go over there, I got to bring my Dominoes because he wants some action. Lorenzo wants some action.
Yep.
And so I figure, here's what I figure. Let me tell you how it works, Marcos.
Yeah.
I beat their ass and then they said, go tell daddy.
Wow.
What I did to you. See what I'm saying?
I like that.
So I just need somebody in the building.
Just welcome Leroy into the Heat offices.
Yep.
Put
an office in the corner and say just Dr. Horde. What are you a doctor of? Dominoes. I'm a dominologist.
You're a dominatrix.
Yeah, dominologist sounds like something you pay for with nipple clamps.
Dude,
what is your safe word?
I just told Fonz the story
of the nipple
iguana.
clamp. All of you.
Oh my God.
He's like, oh, that's so nasty. I'm like, dude, but see, here's the problem, Marcos.
Yeah.
You weren't around. I remember him eating that rancid street bird.
Oof.
Which is gross. Yeah. How'd you even find someone to make that?
What?
We gotta.
There were people that came out of the woodworks.
We had a sponsor who had connects, and they ended up doing it.
Great.
And let me just tell you, dude. First of all, you had to be a whole different level of hammered. So me, him, and Rob. It was me, you, and Beast.
Oh, dude, I went on. I went on with Frito and Chris Perkins,
before us,
and I was sloshed.
Oh my goodness.
I like that.
My other favorite thing was they had me and Yelich. No wonder the guy deleted all this stuff and unfollowed me on social media. They had me and Yelich start signing a bunch of autographs together. So these kids and Marlins fans were coming out to the appearance, and Yelich would sign them. Future MVP, that would be worth something, but also signed by man who ate the crow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
Someone has a poster that's really rare. That is really, really rare.
It was a great poster. I will give it up. That was they made it look like a fight poster. It was great.
Yeah. So
they did
that one, and just thinking of that, and thinking of me eating that in studio,
oof,
and how absolutely hammered I would have to get.
Yeah.
Yep.
To eat that. First of all, and look, there's some nasty stuff out there that people eat, but they clean it up. They don't just cut the legs off and throw it in the bowl like that picture was. And I'm like,
there's some other pictures that were nasty too. And I was like, all right.
Oh my goodness, dude. I'm telling you, even look, my mouth started watering. Not for good, but like, oh my God, I can't do this.
Schmieden is mad at you. He says, "Man up and stand behind your bets, you frauds."
I know.
Timbo Slices backing out of bets. That's not tough.
That's not tough.
I was given an escape pod. I did not ask for it.
He didn't ask for it, but
said I would go down with the ship. That's what I normally do.
Yeah.
But that picture went up. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
How mad were you yesterday when you found out Kyle Lowry again just took 3 shots?
Dude, here's the problem I have with that. You're down by 30. Nobody needs your damn assists.
Right.
They need your points.
We don't need Kyle Lowry to take a charge here.
Right. And so that's the one thing I hate about sometimes sports, right? is when people are not aware of what is needed to win the game. And the one thing I'll say about Jimmy is Jimmy knows during the course of a game, he may play foolishness early on in the season. But when it gets to crunch time, Jimmy always has a good grasp of, okay, this is Jimmy time, right? Get out the way, right? I got this. And everybody else eats because Jimmy has that mindset.
Yep, he was great yesterday. They came out of the shoot in that second half, and
that second half, I made it here. Truth be told, I was a good trooper.
Oh wow!
I made it to the end of the third quarter.
All right, well, you got the story then.
Yeah, and
you got this.
And then, like, oh my goodness, it was like.
Did you like it when Jimmy Butler blew past Anthony Simons and 4 Blazers just watched him go dunk?
That, like, yeah, that's
like if you're Chauncey Billups, imagine if you're Chauncey Billups.
A guy who played on a team that would have thrown haymakers at guys going into the paint.
Just Ben Wallace, that entire team was so nasty, and he's watching this just poo-poo platter of defense that's out there. Woo! It was so embarrassing.
And he's trying to be calm and like coach.
He's got did he sprain his hand? Did he punch a wall? Like what happened to his hand?
I did see that.
Wait, let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. You'd have a sling on too if you had to coach that team.
Probably. They did they go winless in February?
Yep.
Wow.
A whole month.
Wow.
No. Oof.
That's impressive.
That is impressive.
In the NBA, like just never had. See, like I was watching this first quarter. I'm like, they must have had a night like that, right? Like, no, not for a month.
But here's the thing that I've always said about sports. The difference between good teams and bad teams is sustainability. Every team in the NBA has a chance for that 40-point quarter, right? They all have the talent to do it. The great teams and the good teams can sustain that for 2, 3, 4 quarters. The bad teams can only do it for a quarter and a half. And they get run down all the time. And that's where they are.
I'm looking back at their schedule. I got to tell you, tough schedule for the month of February.
Really?
They had to take on the Nuggets 3 times, the Timberwolves twice, the Pels, and the Heat. They only had really – so if you were to look at like 2 opportunities they had, they took on Detroit, lost to them in overtime, and they lost to the Hornets by double digits. Oof.
Holy smoke. Oof.
So you know my favorite.
We are sports free today.
Sports free today.
Wait,
as far as I'm aware.
When do the Pinks play? Saturday.
Okay.
All
Saturday. Right. We don't have anything local tonight.
All right.
But my favorite part of yesterday
was
thinking of Joe Cronin when he watched our boy Nico in the third quarter just start raining threes. And then when he got loose and Terry Rozier found him for that alley-oop, I was like, oh, look at our Serbian Terminator just going.
He's galore.
Getting some shots up. But then, did you see what happened at the end of the game, Leroy?
No, I just told.
Oh, that's a good point.
-1 for just sheer
-1
negligence of awareness.
It was a tough verbal crutch. I apologize.
All right.
But at the end of the game, Nico, he goes up to Duncan Robinson and gives him the most adorable hug I've ever seen in my life.
I gotta tell you,
closed, huh?
You know what?
Eyes closed.
Hey, how about this? Tell me if you agree with this. We've always been fans of dunks.
Yep.
But this year, he's like one of my favorite players on that team.
He's a menace.
That guy, just think of, he gets no calls, right? He's been benched on several occasions. He's had DMPs, and he just stayed with it because this has been his basketball career. He didn't start off at Michigan. He started off at a D3 school. So
streets are wondering, Leroy.
What's that?
They're not gonna do this.
Okay.
But Spo made that acknowledgement the other day about Duncan Robinson just making everything better. And I liked that starting lineup yesterday. Even though they had a bad first quarter, I loved how they came out. I think it was just rusty. He said, they had a really, tough game against the Kings. They clearly just came out a little bit shaky. Terry Rozier was rusty, but
thank God they were playing Portland.
Yeah. They would have been down 25 by any competent team for sure. When they were down only 13, I'm like, that's a victory.
Especially when Portland started off just raining threes.
But do you think with Tyler Hero missing the last couple of games? I mean, you think that this? I mean, they could keep Duncan Robinson in the starting lineup and put Nico to the bench. But I like Nico and Bam together, and I like Duncan Robinson in the starting lineup.
I like the fact that they can play the same style of basketball that they want to play as far as speed and up and down while adding length. I think that is, to me, the most important part. And Dunks, let's see, Dunks ain't going to win Defensive Player of the Year, but he doesn't suck at defense.
I don't want to because it's like, I don't think it's going to happen where I think Duncan Robinson will probably go back to a reserve and they'll put Tyler Hero back in the starting lineup. But do you think that Spo and Chris Quinn have a little meeting about it?
I think they do. I think they because here's the deal.
Do we even approach Tyler with this idea?
No. But here's the deal is that I'm a firm believer that in order to extend what you do, it's almost better for the Heat if it's Tyler or Jimmy. Then it's a clear-cut responsibility. You're the guy, go do you. Okay? When you put them both out there, it almost seems like it's either or. And if it's either or, are you taking away from the overall production of your team when you have two guys that can put the ball in the bucket?
Dr. Stabag wants to know, is Tyler's knee all matched up? He got an MRI, supposedly structurally clean, just a hyperextension.
Oh my God, I hate that phrase. The doctor said that to me one time. I wanted to punch him in the face.
Structurally clean?
Yeah. My knee hurts. It ain't your job to tell me it's okay. Find out why it hurts.
Fix it.
Yeah. A doctor said to me, that was probably the only time I got fined for yelling at management. Because I went off. I'm like, wait a minute, dude. I just played the game. I ain't missing nothing. My knee hurts. Don't tell me it's okay. I know it ain't okay.
What about putting Terry Rozier on the bench?
That's a lot.
Less feelings. And he said yesterday, I'd play in the dunker spot for this team.
Right. I understand that, but I think it's more of and I think if you want to continue having the same up tempo, that if you separate Tyler and Terry, that you can keep that going. You see what I'm saying? Because when Tyler comes out of the game, who's the guy who's going to keep that pace and still be able to handle the ball? They're probably going to do a lot of different things, but not like Tyler or Terry.
I think by the end, like the way they'll stagger it during the games is that you're right. Like it's going to be a lot of when Jimmy's in, Tyler will be out. When Tyler's in, Jimmy will be out up until the end of the games.
Right. And then you also have to stagger Tyler and Terry because you got two guys who play very similar. Right.
Yeah. But Terry's I think that's why Tyler's like, well, I'm adjusting to, shooting the more threes and whatnot. And look, Tyler's, I don't want to make this a blame Tyler thing. I'm just curious about it because I did like how that starting lineup looked. I know that feelings are it's likely not going to happen. Tyler's going to keep starting, but Spo did mention how much he loves having Duncan out there. And I'm just, you mentioned it. I'm like, man, how do you take, I suppose the easy answer is just bench Nico, but I don't think Nico needs anything. Like, I just like the idea of having him out there, getting rebounds. You start the third quarter with him. If he did what he did in the first half yesterday, you bench him for a couple of you bench him, and then he comes out in the third quarter. Boom, kid learns and he does some positive stuff.
The cool thing about Nico is he's so lengthy, right? Yeah. And so just seeing him, Bam, and Dunks on the floor at the same time, right? Instead of seeing Bam, Caleb, and K-Love, right? You seem like you have more energy and more length. And I think that's something this team hasn't had in a couple of years. So it's definitely, but it's also the thing of why does this team seem better when some guys are out?
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
annoying.
because you have a lot of like players, like similar players on the court at the same time, and instead of helping, it almost hurts because neither guy does anything. So when Tyler and Terry are on the court together, it's almost like they're looking at each other. You go, you go, you go, you go, you go. Or Tyler and Jimmy. So I don't know. Look, I'm glad I don't have that job. But it almost seems like the next conversation you have with Spo is going to be like, yeah, I know I'm going to hurt some feelings, but this is for the betterment of the team. I think that's going to be the next conversation.
Yeah, he's going to have to do something. I mean, the easy one is bench the rookie. That's the easy thing because he's the rookie.
And then lose that length.
But lose the length.
Feels so like, oh my goodness. Didn't look good having all those tall guys on the floor.
It does. It does. You're right about that, buddy.